Good morning to all viewers of DSBM Digital Platform. Esteemed Chief Guest, Professor Dr. A.K. Mahapatra, Vice Chancellor Soha University, former Director of AIMS Bhubaneswar, Sri M. Panda, President DSBM, Dr. K.C. Satpathy, Regional Officer, Madam Ipsita Das, Principal D Unit 8, Special Invitee Kunjamon Sir and Namita Madam, Dr. Panda, members of the faculty councils, and my dear students. It is a great pleasure and privilege as a team leader of the DSBM to welcome Professor A.K. Mahapatra, a highly reputed, distinguished resource person who agreed to grace the program in the DSBM digital platform. The profile, which mentioned by Dr. Pallavi Moon, is unique and certainly motivation for all the professional having authorship of 875 research paper and 16 books. At this present scenario, the teachers community, the students, senior citizen, professionals, listen from such a highly reputed medical professional in this outbreak of COVID-19. Sir, entire faculty council of DSBM and 420 students of DSBM are highly indebted for your presence in the DSBM. Now, I request the Honorable Chief Guest, Professor A.K. Mahapatra, to share his valuable thought and scholar opinion to the viewers of DSBM digital platform. Over to Professor Mahapatra.
Good morning, Mr. Panda, the chairman, Dr. Satpathy, Dr. Misra, Dr. Pallavi, all the principals of the DAV schools, all the family members and students and faculty of the DAV fraternity and friends. It is indeed a great pleasure to be here in digital platform of DAV system, because today we are talking a very important topic which is on COVID and its impact before COVID, during COVID and post-COVID scenario. What is not being discussed too much in the society is the psychosocial and economic impact of the COVID-19. We all know the devastating effect of COVID, which has really damaged the health, economy, psyche, education, overall the entire world from north to south pole, from east to west. No part of the world is exempted because of its power, because its finance, because its health system or otherwise. This pandemic has not spared anything. Pandemic is a disease which rapidly goes through the humanity from length and breadth and affect the entire community, be it rich or poor, healthy or unhealthy, child or old or otherwise. Here, if you look at the pre-pandemic condition, world was very healthy, prosperous, we are very happy, digitally developed and modern human being. In 6 months time, world has collapsed to certain extent. This is no less than any world war. We know the devastating effect of World War II, but after Second World War, if anything has happened which has affected entire human race is nothing but the pandemic COVID-19. So it has created the economic instability, life not peaceful and happiness of humanity has been lost. This is what has happened to the across the world, United States to Mexico, and from Japan to maybe Canada and Mexico, wherever it may be. So all over the world. So what are the issues? Issue is not only health, because this has killed about 5.5 lakh people in the world. But we know that every year 1 million people died of accident. So if you look at the only death and suffering, maybe that is much lower of impact to the society than the economics, education, social and more importantly psychosocial aspect of human being. So this pandemic is what? It is a pandemic which is viral origin, and this virus is a very small virus of about 20 nanometer. That means 20 into the power 10 into minus 6. That means 1.5 gram of virus can destroy the entire human being. So we know this is a very dangerous virus in the sense it has very rapidly progressed from rest of the world. Because if you look at the previous pandemic, whether it's Asian flu, it is Middle East flu, it is plague, we know that plague pandemic in 1331 to 1347, in 16 years time, it killed about 1/3 population of Europe. So we have knowledge over last 1000 years how the pandemic can spread and damage the humanity. But this pandemic has rapidly grown in size to the entire world and killed about 6.5 lakh people in 6 months. So this is the graph how the things have progressed in last 6 months. So today we have got 20 million people affected in 6 months. Fatality 6.5 lakh, may not be very high as compared to Asian flu, Spanish flu or other pandemic, maybe plague in 14th century. But if you look the modern civilization, modern healthcare and affluence of the people from economic angle, this number of death is unacceptable in an advanced world of 21st century. So we have lost 6.5 people, and in India we have lost 40,000 people in last 3 months. You see the what is IMF. IMF predicted 2 to 10% GDP fall across the world. So it is not a small thing. This 6 months has reduced the economy to a very great extent. That's why the things have become psychological and financial. So what are the issues? Issues for the people, issues for the government and issues for the health worker. And we all know it has affected the people from the one country to another country, from one state to another state, from one district to another district. So it has really damaged the movement of the people, the economic people, the psychology of the people and healthcare above all. So this is a very important topic. So you have to talk about disease, death, job loss, lockdown, closing education. The children are the worst sufferer. We all thought maybe online education is good enough. That may be considered a poor second option to the classroom teaching. But education probably has suffered a maximum because our exam could not be conducted, our result could not be published, whether it is school education or higher education or technical education or medical education, anywhere it may be. So we have really suffered education wise. Health is very important. We have to first talk about life versus livelihood. In this war of third world of pandemic against COVID-19, health is the most important concern. That is the reason countries after countries, continent after continent have been locked down and shut down. There was a time when 2/3 of the population of the world in a shutdown or lockdown stage. It's not good enough. Even somebody suffer from this disease, he has to go to hospital, he has to require oxygen, he require ventilation and he has to survive or death is a question. So it has affected affluent country like US, even the affluent city like New York, the most powerful powers in the world, China, US, England, Germany, France, Japan, most economically advanced countries have suffered. So we know that is here economy doesn't matter, the facility doesn't matter, the maximum death in US is going to be 1.6 lakhs in last 3 months or so, and they have more than 6 million people. That means 1/3 population of the total involvement in the world are from US. So here we are not talking about advanced country, good economics, very good infrastructure, all healthcare. Maybe US is the best in infrastructure of healthcare and finance and economy. Despite of that, they have suffered the maximum. Why? Because the devastating effect, number of people suffered, so bed is inadequate, there is no cure, there is no vaccine, availability ventilator is limited, and overall there is an anxiety of survival or death. If you ask anybody who has survived from a ventilator, ask the people, those who have come out from our COVID ward from ventilator, they are always seen the devastating effect of death, and they have come back to life from death. So this is what happened. The healthcare workers are no exception. They are seeing the devastating effect of pandemic so far the healthcare is concerned. There are mental stress, there are depression, there are suicidal tendency. If you look across the world, about 1600 doctors have died, and we do not have count of paramedics, nurses, technician. We do not. I would hope there are 5,000 people in the world who have died, the frontline health workers. So huge number of healthcare workers have succumbed. I do not know exactly how many people have suffered. We have only statistics of death. There are also tendencies of suicide in health worker because the stress they could not understand. There was a day, single day, 3 people committed suicide at Moscow. So we know that people have committed suicide. Those are corona warrior in the form of giving care to the hospital patient. So they have suffered maximum so far the mental state is concerned, the family isolation is concerned, and seeing the death and disability of people, those who survive or dying. So we have very high risk health workers. Our police people, our corona warriors are very high risk. The people like police people, they are in the road, they are managing the lockdown or shutdown, they are suffering. Large number of police persons have died in India. Look at their family, look at their economy, look at their devastating effect of the corona warrior, those who have sacrificed their life for the population of. So the family of the corona warrior may be healthcare worker, policemen, the water supply, fire brigades, they are all in isolation from family, depression, decreased salary and what not. So the question is that do all these people have insurance? The policeman working on the road who suffered from the corona, who succumbed to the disease, do they have insurance policy? No, we do not. So the question is that what happened to a earning member of a family who is a policeman dies, what happened to his old father and young children? So we do not know. We talk about migrant worker. In the psychosocial scenario, the maximum sufferer are the daily wage laborer, factory worker, mine worker and workers in the port and industries. When these industrial organizations and all the job providing organization closed down during a period of lockdown or shutdown, they had no option because they had no money, no food, no shelter. They have to go back to their native place. So what happened? They are on the foot, they are on a cycle, they came in truck and whatever modality they want to come back home. Imagine the psychosocial, health and the financial status of millions of migrant workers. The estimation was 200 to 300 immigrant laborer in India, they have to come back to states like Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and UP. So they had a tremendous psychosocial effect on these people. So nobody talk about their transport, their food, their economy and overall their mental state status. These are the hidden aspect of COVID not many people have ever discussed. It is not only health. Health problem is very obvious from anybody, even a blind man can tell what is the problem. So we have to recognize the psychosocial and economic aspect of migrant laborer. As a medical person, I do not bother too much because we have to manage the COVID patient. Today we have around 1500 COVID beds and at any given time we have 12 to 1300 COVID patients. But when I look from more psychosocial angle as a human being, as a vice chancellor of a university, I look at the measure of humanity of these people. So who talks about recognize the need of this immigrant labor, their psychosocial aspect, their financial aspect, their family, their health, nothing has been done. So the question is that we have to look at their quarantine them, give them shelter, give them food, give them finance and overall make them mentally strong because this pandemic has mentally wrecked everybody, maybe the president of a country, prime minister of the country, most rich man or the queen of the England, Prince Charles, whoever it may be, they are all mentally in an anxious state, in a devastated state, maybe Amitabh Bachchan or anybody. We all know that nobody is spared in this pandemic. So what has happened? We need rest. When we talked about doctor and psychology, A doctor in our COVID hospital worked for 15 days, he remained quarantined another 15 days. If the test is negative, he goes back home. If he is positive, he gets admitted in COVID hospital. Imagine a doctor is out of his family in the same city and cannot go home for 1 month, and they are in the PPE. You have to imagine in a PPE situation when your personal protective gowns and all this, you can take any food, you can drink tea, you can take water, you can go to toilet. For 6 hours or 8 hours duty, if you have to pass urine, you have to pass urine in a diaper. Can you imagine a doctor working in COVID ward cannot go to toilet, cannot have water if he feeling thirsty? This is the length of the mental state of doctors and nurses, those who work continuously 8 hours and don't go home for that. They need counseling, they need insurance, there means the social protection, the family need moral support, recreation facility and protect from sanitation and financial angle. Do you know how many doctors have never been paid for last 6 months? In Maharashtra, in Delhi, in Bihar, in UP, many states, these corona doctors, those are contractual doctor working in COVID wards, they have not been paid salary. Imagine the doctors working and not getting salary. Imagine the state of mind they suffer. So they require much more sympathy to deal with them and their family. In public, we need tolerance. People have become intolerant because they are isolated at home. They are in an aggrieved state. They are in an anxiety state. Every day they are thinking, if I go out, do I get contaminated? Do I get infected with the something? So they cannot even sitting at home at relaxation. Everybody say, you have got a paid holiday. Why can't you relax? Is it a time to relax when every moment is shadowed with the fear of pandemic, suffering and death? The sitting at home in a normal day and watching maybe is a different situation sitting in a pandemic at home. Even in home, you are not peaceful. Even watching a movie, you are not happy. Even staying with a family, you are depressed. So imagine a person who is very active in his day-to-day activity is locked at home. So it is not a good thing for public or anybody. So also the elderly and young children. We always say children are happy because they are with a parent. No, children are not for all the time for parents. They have to go to school, they have to play games, they have to with their friends. Just locking down a child from the school and giving lecture on the online for 5 hours is not good for his mental, psychological, social development. So when you talk about child should relax at home, how the child understands the psychology of relaxation and anxiety? He only knows he is in a house arrest because this pandemic has made millions of people, children in the world locked down in their house. So we do not know the mental development, mental worries and the problems of isolation at home. So we have to see how these children are being looked after at family, and the parents are not good enough to look after children because working parent did not have time for their own children. When the parents and children are locked in the same house, they think it is a problem rather a relaxation. The children have never been looked after by parents because the parents are working. So if you think parents are going to very well look after children during lockdown period, it is a misconception. So it is not good. It is not. So what is the stigma of the people? Now you come to the psychosocial stigma. What is stigma? People say this is a doctor working in corona ward. This is a policeman who is suffering from the positive corona. We will not give anybody who is working in the hospital house rent. The people, tenants are being removed by their house owner because he is a corona warrior. These are very, very significant psychosocial impact on the human being. I cannot be harassed just because I help human being in the hospital. I cannot be harassed because my family is staying in a colony, because somebody has suffering in the hospital. Then what happens to when the social people in the society do not have the sympathy for these people, those who are dedicating their life for the health and well-being of the people. Same people, those who get benefit by the police, from the water supply, from the electricity, harass the people, those who go out because they will be contaminated with the virus and spread the virus. This is not how the corona warriors have been. So we have to educate the public, the colony people. Do not discriminate. Do not make them isolated and shout at them as if they are outcasted. They are not there are different category of people. Thus prejudice, discrimination, isolation are very harmful for the people those are working. They are already mentally stressed, anxious people those are working, and other people are not working. Now there is a class of working people struggle, get disease and die. Another strong people those who do not work, isolated at home and mentally depressed. So there are two extreme. One group of people working very hard and earning money, another group of people are sitting at home, may be getting salary, may not be getting salary. So all these things are very, very important for our administrator, our psychosocial, our psychologist, our psychiatrist to understand. Everybody has to be treated in a different way. The doctors to be treated different than a policeman. Policeman has to be treated in different way than the elderly people. Elderly people have to be treated different way by the children. And for that reason, we want geriatric psychologist, children psychologist, clinical psychologist and what not. Do you have infrastructure to treat them? Do you have the enough psychologists to see elderly people different way than that of the children, or children different way than the working people different than the laborer? We talk everybody in the same platform, which is not the concept of psychological counseling. Everybody's need and is different, everybody requiring different, everybody is suffering from different disease and different mindset also. So what we have to do? We have to educate the people at large through the TV, maybe anything. We have to take the compliance, quarantine, avoid irresponsible behavior, and the people at isolation is also have the right to stay at home, because they are the maximum sufferer. The family and the society must understand this. If we do not understand, because I know very, very educated people, retired people, they misbehave with the doctors and police people. They misbehave with the municipality worker, they go home for quarantine them or doing the sanitization. They misbehave with them when they go home to home, door to door for taking swab from the throat. See, you have to understand, they are doing tremendously, they are working their good work for the society, and they are in a tremendous psychosocial pressure from the family, from the society, and in the mental stress. When you manipulate them, you misbehave them, they become demoralized. So our aim is to see that social media is creative. We always paint or highlight the negative aspect more in the TV. So many people have died. In Bhubaneswar, so many people have come, but we do not say so many people have gone. 98% people have been cured in India with a 2% mortality. We do not highlight 98% cure rate in pandemic. We talk about 40,000 deaths in India. This is not right. This is a infodemic. The WHO has coined a word that information which is epidemic, because this information having a much more psychological devastating effect to the society and the people. I cannot keep on only highlighting there is no ventilator, doctors are not working. We do not talk about the right and positive aspect of the environment, the society, the air has become less polluted and there is no contamination, there is no less pollution. We do not highlight the good aspect of this. So our Facebook, our Instagram, Twitter is negative aspect and very, very false messages. This is WHO telling infodemic. We are suffering epidemic of misinformation. This misinformation should not be respected. This is a much more harmful than even disease. It spread in misinformation spread like wildfire. It is another epidemic or pandemic to just spread the misinformation. So we have to have various aspects, whether money, job security, preventing harassments for the police, fear of the infection, concern for the food, healthcare, anxiety, family problem. This is a complex package. Psychosocial problem is not a single formula like 2 + 2 is 4. It is a complex process where the administrator, doctor, senior citizens, NGO should come and help the society in such a very bad stage. India in Odisha has done very well because our percentage of death is very low and our number of cases are so. Our CM was given very much appraisal that he has done very well for the Odisha. But after the lockdown is over, we have to follow the rules and regulation, because here to balance between life and livelihood. So in that process, the regulation, the advisory, the guidelines should not be forgotten. So what we need to do? We have to see the community motivation. We have to arrange the food for the poor people. If a person is losing job, the employer should see he should not be thrown out from a job. He can be managed with a small amount of money. Instead of taking out of 30,000 employee, you just remove 10,000. No, give less money to all employees and keep them alive, because they can survive less amount of money, but they cannot survive without money. So here we have to understand the companies, the employer, the job provider, that do not make anybody out of job. By doing that, you are doing a very big social injustice to the public. So old people and high risk people, they are really problem. Ask for the people, those who go to morning walk, evening walk, go to park. The park is not open, morning evening walk is not there. So we think that old people must be enjoying at home. It's not true. They are much more depressed with all the time telling they are very high risk, they are very high risk. All the people died in Europe are above 75 years. Think of a man in India who is 80 years, and all the time you say, if for 80 years your chance of dying in corona is about 50%. What will happen to him? What will happen to elderly if you keep on telling, if you suffer, your chance of survival is very little. So we are indirectly making them much more nervous and anxiety state that you are old and your chance of survival. This is not how the message should be spread in the society. And what is happened? Obsessive behavior. The people have started hoarding. If you go to the market, the villagers are purchasing vegetables smaller price, but the vegetable cannot come to the bigger market like Bhubaneswar. The hoarding and all the materials which are sold in the bigger city market is much more price. So the question is that here the Munafakhor or the profit making organization are making profit, where the public and the people and the farmer are the sufferer. So we have to understand this period of time. Even a businessman should understand, I should be selling the thing in the proper price than charging more money. So we have to understand the pandemic from all angles. These are the how the distressed people can, it's very demoralizing if in the hospital. We know that in India, 12,000 subjects are studied in 200 cities. 50% people are depressed, anxious, or they have got a suicidal tendency, or they have got manic depression. So these are very severe depression, 20%. Every day we find out the suicide rate, and yesterday there is a Rajya Sabha question to AICT, how many children or students commit suicide in higher education. If I give a figure, it will be disappointing. Out of 1.6 lakh people, those who commit suicide in India every year, around 20,000 students and 8 to 10,000 students in higher education. Every year, medical student, engineering student commit suicide. So now, over and above, there is an uncertainty about education, there is an uncertainty of job, there is an uncertainty of exam, there is an uncertain future. The students are very much depressed. As a teacher, as an educational institution, as a vice chancellor of the university, we have tremendous response to see that they are properly psychologically counseled, because knowing the impact of the children, their future, their education, their pass percentage, we cannot have a peaceful life if you are working in educational institution. We always believe that corona warriors are only in the hospital and policemen. You and I and the educational institutes have tremendous responsibility to work as a corona warrior to help in this pandemic, the psychosocial aspect, educational aspect of the students. So we have large number of problems in the student, muscle pain, dizziness, they don't sleep, they all the time reading, looking at the internet, they are becoming violent at home, they fight with the parents, they have no certainty of the future, the failing the exam, uncertain future. Understand the plinth of the students, their mindset. We do not talk about the school student, higher education student, their problems. Nobody talk about students' problem. That is reason yesterday Rajya Sabha, day after Rajya Sabha, they questioned, how many students, we are proud of our higher education, but people in higher education, engineering, medical, PhD are committing suicide. We do not believe a class 5 student going to suicide, he doesn't understand the impact of this pandemic. He doesn't understand the impact of the future job. He doesn't understand the implication of passing, failing an exam. It is only in the higher education you must understand. They understand what a job means to them, what is the passing or failing exam means to them. Who understand this psychological impact on the student in higher education? I know student in medical science, engineering science commit suicide. What a terrible thing to happen. So we have to look after our children. Parents are not able to manage children. Teachers have not in contact with students. There are no social worker or psychologists are engaged in the activity or psychological counsel of children. These children are just locked up telling that go to the online classes. That's not enough for a child psychology to develop, personality to develop, morality or overall development. A child will not be good enough by classroom or by online education. Who talks about them? Parents are not. I cannot think that any parents today will be able to handle the psychology of the students or children. So we have to understand how this has impacted our society. Reassurance, moral values, in for large number of, you just tell everybody 98% are cured. We have 75% are healthy after going back from hospital. We do not have to tell 2.2% death. For a statistics it's okay. For a comparison to the world, India has a small percent death. But when you look at the sheer number of 1.3 billion people, even death of 5 lakh people in India is a big number. But if you take a percentage as compared to Italy or Spain, it's a very small percentage in India. But for humanity, the loss of millions or lakhs of life. So there is no point for who dies, for him is 100%, he survives 100% or dies 100%. So these statistics are important for the government and planner, but this statistic is not important for family whose breadwinner has died. For him, for that family, 1%, 0.5% has no meaning, because a person dies, the family gets ruined. Believe or not, a family came to me whose the running member had died, the widow lady of 30 years of 2 children and 2 elderly in-laws. Imagine the poor people have to look after a widow who is in Digapandi. Every day I see the calamity which has affected the people more important in Ganjam, and where the half of the Odisha death is in Ganjam. Believe what is the mindset. So we have to not highlight the 2.2% death, we have to highlight 98% success. That is not being properly highlighted. So we have to go through all these things for the health worker provider, which may not be important for you. For the lecture's sake, we have to complete medical practitioner. We need a lot of people in healthcare services, because pandemic is 50% work, and who is suffering maximum? Non-COVID patient. The cancer patient, heart accident, normally pregnancy patient, they don't get paid. So we are so much indulged, so much addicted to COVID-19. We are forgetting cancer, diabetes, heart attack, brain hemorrhage, pregnancy. The pregnant lady go to 5-6 hospitals, come back. What has happened to our system? Our system has failed. Our hospitals are not delivering goods. In the name of the pandemic, the OPDs are closed, the admissions are closed. So what has happened to us? Where do these people go? Those who suffer from normal diseases, diabetes, blood pressure, cancer, arthritis, asthma, they are the maximum sufferer. They goes to millions as compared to lakhs of the COVID patient. We have put all our resources, all our healthcare to COVID, but the non-COVID people are suffering maximum. So we have a tremendous role of healthcare provider. So these things have to be highlighted, that we have to see the psychiatrists, psychologists, clinical social workers and NGOs to look after society. Yoga is very important. We do not highlight the modern, in the modern medicine doesn't talk about yoga, pranayam, naturopathy, maybe prayer. These are very, very integral part of the spiritual life. Today we need much more spiritual life development than the physical life. So who talks about this? These requires yoga teacher, naturopathy teacher, Ayurvedic and homeopathic doctors. They can go and give immunostimulating medicines. So this is very good. So my point is that this pandemic is cannot be seen in isolation. this is not a disease of isolation. This is a disease which has affected a small group of people, but large number of people with non-COVID are suffering. Children, millions of children are suffering. Crores of, hundreds of thousands of people have become jobless. Immigrant laborer sufferer. So if you look at the real suffering of humanity, it's much more beyond COVID-19, which only is a tip of the iceberg. So we have a tremendous responsibility to see as a government level, NGO level, hospital worker, community social worker, and we all as a teachers and part of the significant or important person in the society, we must work in together and help the suffering humanity. If we work together as a group, we can save the human being for suffering from the disease and from the death. Thank you very much.